Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard and this light is very bright over my laptop right now. And these are short video snippets designed to answer questions you may have about estate planning or probate or other legal concerns that may impact your household. And for this week, I wanted to revisit our dear Sarah Bakery business owner who is trying to work out her estate plan and more specifically her business succession plan and whether or not she's going to leave the business via her will or trust to her daughter Emma, or if she's going to leave her business to her key employee Mike. And so for this week, I wanted to talk about an option called a buy-sell agreement that Sarah has been considering. So before I get into Sarah and Mike's situation specifically, I want to take a step back and talk about what a buy-sell agreement actually is, what it can do, and that sort of thing. And so, the question becomes what happens to your business for those of you who are business owners or have some type of business ownership interest. What happens to that ownership interest should something happen to you, whether you become incapacitated or too incompetent to continue to run the business, or let's face it, with all that has been happening seriously just in the last few days with people passing away so unexpectedly, our time is coming. So what happens if you have a business and you pass away? And so a buy-sell agreement is a pretty good planning tool to put in place for those types of scenarios. And so what it is a legally binding contract that outlines what happens to an owner's business interest if they leave the business either voluntarily or involuntarily. And so we're talking about anything, the range from retirement, voluntary retirement, involuntary retirement, disability, divorce or bankruptcy, or as I already mentioned, death. So how does it work? Basically, this agreement, it just lays out the foundation of who can buy the departing owner's business interest or business shares. And so that's typically going to look like this. When it's a co-ownership arrangement of the original business, then a buy-sell agreement usually goes what we call a right of first refusal to the existing co-owners. It could be to a key employee. It could be to a family member who is not the immediate family or maybe is not part of that business owner's will or trust beneficiaries, but some other outside person. And it could even be a third party that's not related to the family and not specifically related to the business. But that buy-sell agreement will identify who the buyer could be or should be, and then the method by which the value of the business is going to be determined at the time of that sale or at the time of that transfer of ownership, and then how that purchase will be funded. And we'll talk more about some of Sarah's options that she's thinking about in our next installment of these Wednesday Wisdom videos. But for now, I just want you to think about this for those of you familiar with family law. Think of this as a business prenup. So it's designed to answer the who, what, when, why, where questions, but then really the intent is to reduce chaos when that time comes, especially if it's an unexpected event, to reduce that chaos, to hopefully reduce any disputes or eliminate any disputes that could otherwise arise, and also to avoid any financial surprises down the line. And this is essential primarily to, of course, keep the business running smoothly. We want a smooth transition from one owner to the next, no matter what happens to the existing owner. We don't want to create more of a hassle in transferring that ownership, because then business operations are delayed or stopped altogether. And I let a fly in here when I got my mail earlier. Focus. It provides a clear roadmap for everyone involved, and it also protects the owner's family and any other business partners that may be a part of the business as well. And one of the main things that I think is important that we really don't think about for those of us who do have family owned or family run businesses is that a buy-sell agreement prevents or avoids, well, really, we want to ensure that the business doesn't fall into the wrong hands. A lot of us when we have these family businesses, we want to build that legacy. We want to maintain the goodwill that we've already established from our clientele, from our customer base, and we want to pass that legacy on. And so a business getting into the wrong hands may initially say, yeah, we're going to keep the family name, the business name, and we're going to keep the mission and the vision alive. And then down the road, it doesn't happen the way the original owners intended it to happen. So you want to be careful. You want to really think about, what happens after you're gone. And if it got into the wrong hands, then what? Is your legacy tarnished? Has your legacy ended abruptly because of a lack of planning? So with that said, I think I've gone on long enough for this piece, but I look forward to sharing with you next time what Sarah and Mike are discussing and how they're putting this buy-sell agreement in place. And as always, I thank you for watching. And I'm looking at the light instead of looking at the camera. We'll see you next time. I'm tired. Thanks for watching.